Good evening, YouTube. Tonight, we're taking a journey down the road of what exactly life is like for a video game hacker. With our first installment of a series designed to shed light on issues of hacking and cheating in Warzone from the perspective of the hackers themselves. As many of you viewers obviously know, there are an abundance of Warzone cheaters roaming Verdansk these days. But we want the real story, to fill in the blanks of the who, what, why, and hows of something we're not all very familiar with. So tonight, we're starting at the top with one of, if not the most notable hacker in Verdansk, one that simply goes by the name ItsHapa. Our own resident field correspondent and local taxidermist Cletus Jenkins has the story. Cletus? Jail! You better not touch my shine while I'm gone, woman. Hey man, can I get smoke before we take this ride? What's good, sir? Come on, man. Dog Bounty Hunter lets his prisoners have smoke before he tells them some generic feel good shit. Come on, man. I'm just like, yeah, it looks like we're having some technical difficulties. Godspeed to you, Cletus. Do we have ItsHapa on the line? What's going on?
We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us. I'm just kidding. I've always wanted to do that. Sorry.
What in the world did you do that? It was actually pretty easy. You know, you shouldn't hire Activision to handle your digital security. Duly noted. So Hoppa, tell us a little bit about your background in the gaming sphere. Well, I've always been a gamer. You know, some of my fondest memories of growing up was playing old Nintendo titles with my dad. You know, I remember Contra, Zelda, Mario 3, Blades of Steel, Double Dribble, Tecmo Bowl, the list goes on. I was kind of a nerd at heart when I grew up, but I grew up in the country, so it was so darn country. In fact, growing up, you played sports year-round where I lived if you were a boy, or you worked on one of the farms, either or. So, never really had the time to play games growing up, nor did we have cable or internet where I grew up, so I didn't really get to, explore what gaming was really about until my aunt bought me a PC when I was about 13 or 14. And I basically had to teach myself how to use it. Back then, there wasn't any readily available information like Google or whatnot. I had to check out a lot of books from my local library before I was even able to boot up into Doom or Duke Nukem. But, shortly after that, my parents got a divorce and my mom moved us to the suburbs. And right around that time, we got, cable and internet. But I also got a console. But back then, console was, at that point, it was a purely offline gaming experience. But it caused me to fall in love with what would eventually define the FPS genre. Games like Halo and COD, with the Halo Custom Edition being my first online PvP experience. Shout out if you guys are that old and know what I'm talking about. Flash forward a few years, I'm a young adult, still gaming, working full-time with family to support. I was still managing to find a little bit of time to grind MW2 or whatever game the homies were on at the time. That lasted all the way up until, I'd say, Ghosts, and then that Titanfall ripoff version of COD dropped, and we're all, screw this, we definitely lost interest in COD. And, coincidentally, around the same time my career began to take off, it left me with little to no time at all to game. I was moving around a lot. It took a lot of dedication and time away from not only gaming, but the family as well, for me to, put into my career. And definitely I gotta say my passion for gaming kind of took a backseat at the time. Especially, me being part of the professional world. There's still a bit of stigma that goes along with adult gamers, kind of like adults aren't supposed to enjoy video games or something. I'll never understand it, but it was definitely something that you don't want to go into a professional world like, hey, I'm a gamer, who else is with me? Demoted. Hey guys, it's Hoppa. Are you one of those creators that has fire content, but you're struggling to get the videos the views they deserve? Or the growth of your channel's just not equal to the hard work that you're putting into it? Well, today, I'm going to share some secret sauce with y'all. With one little action, you're going to turn these type of analytics into something more like this. And all you have to do to see this type of improvement with your videos is go to TubeBuddy.com/HoppaTubeBuddy right now and sign up. What's TubeBuddy, you ask? TubeBuddy is a browser extension that adds an amazing set of tools on top of YouTube's already existing website that's going to help you grow, get more views, and increase subscribers, providing you with tools that help you optimize your content in the fastest time possible. How about being lost on what keywords or tags to use in your videos? You can quickly gauge what's best suitable for your channel and its content with powerful tools such as Keyword Explorer and Video Topic Planner, amongst other very helpful knowledge that every YouTuber, no matter how big or small, absolutely needs to know. So what are you waiting on? Go get all those views you've been missing out on by clicking the link in the description right now. Then, obviously come back here and finish what you started, because, I kind of like views too. So, yeah, thanks. So with the flourishing career, what exactly finally brought you back to the gaming world? As many people had the misfortune of having happen to them, they became unable to generate an income from their traditional jobs or careers due to the pandemic. And for me, it was somewhat of a major blow because I was actually living and running my business on the big island of Hawaii. I was in the process of moving to a larger, more profitable island of Oahu, Honolulu, when, the pandemic first hit. So after a few months, I made the decision to leave Hawaii, return to the Midwest, where the cost of living is obviously much, much, much less. And Hawaii's nice, but it's a really hard place to live when you're not legally allowed to generate an income, So living on an island is when you got your name ItsHapa and started gaming again? Yeah, kind of one day I was sitting on my lanai, which is, like a big front porch. Everybody in Hawaii's got one. The big island especially is like the old school Hawaii. And I lived in an area that was, nothing but locals. So one day I'm sitting there, smoking, and the neighbors across the way were having a barbecue, and I guess they could smell it or whatever, and they were out of smoke themselves. So they hollered over, "Hey, island boy, you hungry? Bring us over some of that pakarulu we bring you up late, brah." And if you don't know what that means in Hawaiian, that means, smoke with us and we're gonna cut you in on some grub. That's kind of how it works over there. So one thing led to another, we all became friends, and since they couldn't pronounce my name, which kind of sounds like Hoppa when Hawaiians are trying to say it, they just started calling me Hoppa. I think they were a little bit surprised, you know what I mean? Most of the Haole people that they meet from the mainland are kind of stuck up, and they're all kind of like the people I grew up with, real down to earth, real hard-working people, kind of country, if you will. And they were really surprised to find out this Haole boy who wears the suit and tie to work every day, could get down the same way with them. So, it was kind of a badge of honor for me. They start calling me Hoppa. And it just so happened I was able to get my hands on a PS4 right before the whole lockdown thing happened. I'd always said, it'd be amazing if COD had a battle royale. And one thing the Battlefield always had on COD was that, they could have so many players into one match. You literally didn't have to play with, 5 people. You could play with 30 people in your team. I always thought that was really cool, like on a large scale FPS. So when I learned about Warzone, I was definitely on it. Now, gaming in Hawaii does have its drawbacks. Regardless of what the no-lag VPN guys have to tell you, there are no COD servers in Hawaii. The people you play with in Hawaii depends on basically what time of day you're gaming. Usually you're playing with West Coast guys in Cali or Canada, but late nights you generally get sent to the Asia servers. But no matter where I played, it was always 100 plus millisecond ping. And I mean, heck, 100 millisecond ping was actually pretty decent for playing in Hawaii. So at what point did you decide to become a streamer or content creator? But just as a lot of others during the pandemic, I filled a lot of time with, just watching entertaining videos vegging out on YouTube or the various platforms I was interested in, and, watching people that entertained me. From what I saw a lot of, especially in the streaming community, there were just some flat-out boring people. I mean, not only were they not good at the game they were playing, they were boring, they weren't entertaining, they weren't engaging to their chat. And I thought to myself, oh, this actually looks kind of fun. Being a streamer, I think I could entertain a lot better than some of these guys. And in fact, I always found the guys that were more entertaining than talented in the games they were playing ended up catching and holding my attention longer, more than the guys that were dropping consistent 30 bombs. But again, I see how the majority of the viewers are more interested in who's the best is and not what the best is for them. If that makes any sense. I mean, the majority want to see someone go off like an absolute maniac, not someone who's tactically weighing risk versus reward and playing for wins or other statistical prowess. That's why I believe that even if some of these high-level streamers were to goof up and get busted, have their cheats pop up on stream or whatever, they're not really going to lose that many fans, if any at all. I think I think that's been proven a few times with these guys cheats popping up. They're, you know, out there still competing in large tournaments for, you know, lots of money. Torva. So you saw the people getting rich, and you decided to try and follow in their footsteps, but realized creating content such as the content that's garnering all the views was very difficult. It involved a very high degree of skill. Am I wrong? No, not exactly. I never really tried to use my content creation as a way to replace my income. I never set out to, you know, make high kill content either. I know a lot of creators' goals is to leave their viewers thinking to themselves, man, that guy's pretty good. I wish I could join in those games and slay out like those guys. My content's more along the lines of I want to leave my viewers thinking something like, dude, that guy's funny as fuck. I wish I could join in the laughs and throw a couple punchlines myself. And I think one of the cool things I've created with my small community is that, you know, my viewers can actually join in the laws and throw a barb in chat. You know, space permitting, they can even jump in a game on stream and chop it up with me and the homies. So your intention never was to get the exposure and growth that you received in the recent months? I mean, having a big family isn't always a bad thing. I've had 30 viewers in chat, I've had 3,000 viewers in chat, and I can tell you from experience, there's no way to feel connected to everyone in your community when you got 3,000 people in chat at the same time. I definitely see why people with that many viewers in chat only read messages from donos. It's definitely a very hard thing to do, and you know, the ones that do it right are the ones that remember the names in their communities they built back when they were, you know, in the single digits. A lot of people like to lie to you and say, "Rob, when I get to the top, I'm bringing y'all with me." They're full of shit. 90% of them, 99% of them is full of shit. The ones that do it right are the ones that consistently, there could be 4,500 people in chat, they jump in, hey, what up, Papa? How you doing today, brother? Those are the good streamers. So it was your deep love and concern for your community why you decided to start using cheats? What are you talking about, bro? I don't cheat. You motherfucker. I'm kidding, obviously, but it wasn't for my community. It was more or less for myself, to be honest with you. I'm not going to be one of these guys that hide behind any excuses other than I purely wanted to. Oh well. I've been streaming for about 8 months or so. Along the way, I've met some pretty awesome people that also streamed, and we began streaming with the same group of people every day, day in and day out. We were pretty decent. Nothing that's going to put our team on the lips of the pro orgs, but, you know, we had fun. I think people watched our streams and enjoyed our banter, and hopefully they enjoyed our content. But unfortunately, around season 5 last year, season 5, December-ish, I remember a lot more blatant cheaters in our games. Not the ones where, you know, you walk away from watching the kill cam and you're like, I don't know, man, something was up with that guy. More so the ones where you're just like, before you even start the kill, you're like, yeah, no fucking way. That guy just, you know, you were melted by a cheater. But more and more that was happening to us. It seemed to be happening so much to the extent where we were finding it incredibly hard to, you know, capture gameplay that was worse than best in the time making into a YouTube video or whatever. That, I don't think many of our viewers enjoyed watching us struggle for 20-25 minutes just to get crapped on by a bunch of cheaters in the final circle. Then came the DMR meta, which, might I add, was promised by Raven to be fixed immediately following their Christmas break, but only to have them come back from Christmas break to update the store first, making us wait a whole nother week before they nerfed the DMR, and then a whole nother 2 weeks after that for a proper frickin' nerfing. For me, it was during this time, you know, we all decided to try different games. Warzone just wasn't it for us. And most of them, they settled on Escape from Tarkov. Now, don't get me wrong, Tarkov's a decent game. I enjoyed playing it, although I hear now they got a pretty bad hacker problem themselves. It's just not something entertaining for the viewer. Nobody wants to watch you rat around a map for, you know, 30 minutes. It's hiding in bushes. It's super boring. And, you know, so I made the choice to give Warzone another try. And I swear to God, if it wasn't 6 out of 7 games, I got absolutely shit on by a cheater. I'm talking 360 through the trees, wallbang by a level 12 Damascus DMR. In fact, I think the bot of that day, that stream is still up on Facebook, so you can go check that out. You can clearly hear me threaten at the end, yo, if this shit happens again, I'm gone. I'm going to get cheats. And sure enough, very next game, I didn't even reach the ground before I got tapped out of the sky by the XM16 in like 4 shots from about 80 meters. And I did, and I hopped off. I Googled Warzone cheats, up popped a site called Engine Owning, $20, deal. So you buy engine owning software and think to yourself, maybe this is how the top level content creators are able to get those types of gameplays. I'm gonna take a page out of their book and get rich myself. No, absolutely not. In fact, I never intended on streaming the cheats. At that point, I was just seeing what they were like. I'd never heard of at that point anybody named Bad Boy Beeman, let alone anybody that was, doing hacker hunter activities or whatever. I was just amazed at the abilities these softwares could grant you within a video game like Warzone. The ability to beam somebody at 800 meters without scoping in, that's pretty cool. If you've never been able to do that'll knock your socks off. I hadn't at that point put that much effort or thought into, how somebody could use these cheats to enhance their gameplay while maintaining, a legit status. I was just having fun destroying kids in the same fashion they regularly destroyed me. I think Savage, a very talented Warzone player and even a better content creator, said it best. He said while watching my 70 kill world record gameplay with that other content, I forget it, he's not important, he's a nobody. But anyways, they were watching and reviewing my video, and he said, people always talk about, imagine cheating, that gets so boring. Referring, to obviously how effortlessly you can kill people with cheats. He said, I don't know, this actually is pretty fun. And to be honest with you, he was right. It is a lot of fun. At first, the abilities are amazing. It's a lot of fun, especially when you hear all the kids who take this game way too seriously, and some of the funnier death comments you'll hear. But I'll be 100% honest with you, after a while, you've heard it all, you've done it all. It does get kind of boring. So, my intentions weren't necessarily to start exposing people that were cheating. It was more for my peace of mind, to reassure me that I was competing for views against people that definitely had an advantage of me of sorts. And even if they were cheating, I don't think I was ever going to really be upset about it. Because I can honestly tell you, the creators that I like, that I follow, I like them most, not for their game sense, not for their aim, anything like that. It's their talents that lie elsewhere, like their comedic abilities or, their hook, whatever that may be. The attribute or ability that sticks out and reaches beyond that of being talented at a video game. Because, I'll be honest with you, foundations built on pillars of lies are bound to succumb to pressures that they cannot withstand. And honestly, I want nothing to do with that kind of bad juju. So if fame and fortune wasn't exactly what you were aiming for, tell us what caused you to go live the day you were clipped and reported to BBB. Well, I had told a few people, including the people I streamed with, that I had bought the cheats. I got the 3-day trial, and I had 1 day left. I asked any of them, hey, you guys, anybody want some free dubs? We've definitely had enough hackers steal dubs from us, we can get some back, And we all laughed about it, but one of them was like, yo, bro, you gotta stream that, man. And at first I was kind of hesitant, but then my guys convinced me, dude, it's one stream, you gotta shed light on this situation, yada, yada, yada. Hell, even one guy called me a liar. He was like, bro, I guess he thought, cheats were only for the, super smart elite hackers or super expensive or whatever, but they're not. So you're saying you're not a worldwide elite hacker? Nah, I downloaded a zip file, extracted it, clicked the button, disabled secure boot, and voila. During the stream in which I was using the cheats, I also kind of wanted to display that just because the viewer doesn't see the little red boxes dancing all over the screen doesn't mean the streamer doesn't see them, and there's ways to only transmit the layer of video of the game, not like the overlay of the cheats. But after, like a game or two, one of the guys I streamed with was just like, bro, you gotta show us. You gotta show us what you're seeing. So I did. I switched it from game capture to display capture, and what I find hilarious is this is all from the very stream that Bad Boy Beeman used in his first video on me. I don't know, whoever sent in the video should have stuck around for like 20 minutes more. They definitely would have got like confirmation. There would have been no speculation. Are you trying to say Bad Boy Beeman inadvertently gave you exposure that you would have never received had he never made a video of you cheating? Absolutely. I mean, I don't think that was his intention, but, it all lined up perfectly, because at the end of that stream, one of my mods sent me the memo released by Facebook in regards to cheating, and the language that they used was for people promoting cheats. Basically, the language was that, if you're openly cheating, showing your walls, using your stream to funnel sales of cheats, etc., etc., they're not going to ban you. They're just going to take away your monetization privileges. And, well, up to that point, I really wasn't making any money from my Facebook page. And, it was the last day of my subscription. And the fact that I had just uninstalled Warzone after that stream and was back to trying to find a game I enjoyed to play and stream. This makes it even more funny for me. You say you uninstalled the game, deleted it from your hard drive, and no longer had a subscription to the cheat software, but that didn't keep you from playing and continuing to cheat now, did it? No, because, I woke up to several messages from friends of my mod saying, bro, you're famous. After I woke up, I watched a few of BBB's videos and saw that there was quite the pattern, it was like clockwork. They accused, the admitted, apologized, took some time off, no harm, no foul. My mom asked me, so, what are you going to do? You got to make an apology video explaining what happened, and I said, what are you talking about? She's like, a video apologizing to your fans for cheating, and I'm like, cheating? I don't cheat, bro. Dude, we both just started busting out laughing, and it was like from that point forward, I created a character that was somewhat all the annoying parts of all the annoying people in the streaming world with, a bunch of added narcissism and a staunch refusal to admit the obvious. And hey, it worked. I found my hook, so to speak. So then why move on from your newfound success? In your recent streams, you've played everything but Warzone. Mainly that's because, like I said, I'm not having fun, and I'm not making any money to suffer through not having fun. So I'm doing what I enjoy, and those that want to follow me surely can, and those that don't, well, I'm not really concerned with those people. Look, I was banned several times on Facebook for things I'm not really going to get into detail about, but mostly for my political beliefs, and I was thinking about making the move elsewhere anyways for other reasons that I don't really care for the platform, and I thought growing my YouTube channel was the right place. So what we did was we had a giveaway while dual streaming YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Catch was, to be eligible for the giveaway, you gotta subscribe to my YouTube page. And we actually ended up giving away over $300 on that stream. I woke up the next day to a 30-day ban from live streaming on Facebook for spam. What they explained to me is that, in asking my viewers, on Facebook to leave the platform, go subscribe to me on another platform, it was an attempt to lure traffic away from the Facebook platform, and they against my monetization policy, whatever, and they banned me for 30 days, thus making it impossible to fulfill my monthly obligation as far as minimum hours streamed, and to say a member of the monetization program on Facebook, meaning after 30 days is up, I can resume streaming on their platform and then reapply for monetization after I met the stream requirement. What I chose was to stop doing business with Facebook. For that and several, like I said, other reasons, it's just not a great platform. They definitely care more about money than building a fair and strong platform for their creators. Hell, they even got partners with that average less than Twitch affiliates because they refuse to spend money to boost their live stream. Can you imagine being a Facebook partner and getting like 3 concurrent viewers? So, I made the natural transition to Twitch. But the funny thing about Twitch culture is there's a lot of simps on that platform. The kind that are editors of certain larger communities will go out of their way seeing that I'm playing the game 100% legit and call their friends at Raven and Activision to get my account manually banned. Live. But somehow they've, managed to not be able to get their creators-friendly stream snipers banned. Just the unfriendly ones. I think that's another video. So you're alleging they practice rules for thee and not for me? Oh, it's an absolute fact. I'm dead ass when I talk about the Cool Kids Club, #whitelist or whatever. Call me whatever you want, but there's a protected group and extremely hard to get into, but once you're in it, you're invincible. Let's go back to when you first re-downloaded Warzone, and I assume purchased another subscription to Engine Owning? Yeah, I did. I bought a month this time. I decided, with my new character, I'll re-download the game. New channel growth, I'll just rock it until the wheels fall off. I didn't really have anything to lose at that point, plus, I wanted to prove my theory that as long as I don't admit it or prove myself a cheater, like showing my walls on stream or whatever, that, there's going to be no investigation by the streaming platform, especially Facebook. So, I was going to see if I can make partners. Spoiler alert, you haven't banned me yet. Weren't you worried about losing your account, or maybe even worse, a hardware ID ban? Yeah, at first I was a little bit, and then I finally did get my account banned, but, at that point I'd already had someone show me how easy it was to make a new account. But, somewhere around a month or so in, I did have several accounts get caught up in that large ban wave attributed to engine owning. You know, the one that resulted, well, for me, it resulted in a hard drive ID ban. But, you know, after a few days, I got in contact with another provider that goes by the name Artificial Anal. I'm sorry, it's Artificial Aiming. And they helped me pass my hardware ID ban, hooked me up with some cheats. Although, you know, honestly, in comparison to the numerous other providers that I've tried, it's kind of dog shit. Just being honest, they're pretty useless. I mean, other than they were the only people at the time that I knew of that had an unlock all tool, which, you know, led me to start using a new account, new fresh account, fully kitted with my favorite weapons, you know, attachments, camos, player cards, operators, etc., etc. It just for me, it kind of added to the troll. You know, every time, you know, I had something to do with something that most streamers would be terrified to be called out on, I embraced it. I made sure, you know, I came up with the most ridiculous excuses as to such reason why I used a fresh account. I told everybody it was to, you know, circumnavigate skill-based matchmaking because I couldn't afford a VPN. And my camera, my webcam's super glued to the wall, and oh, one of my personal favorites, that's not a snap, that's a DPI switch, but I don't expect you console players to understand the complexity of keyboard, mouse, PC gaming. You know, but eventually their unlock tool got noticed, and it definitely was biting at the ankles of Activision's profits, and you know, they experienced their own little bandwave. After that, I tried a bunch of different providers, but in doing so, I alienated the ones that were fans of mine by helping Beeman and Hoppa do some videos of theirs. The cheating community, they're kind of territorial, they're kind of like to hide in the shadows, and it's understandable. So, you know, I'm pretty much blacklisted everywhere as far as cheats are concerned. So, wait 1 second here. After all the things BBB and the other hacker hunters did to you, you were still willing to help them create footage they wouldn't have been able to create without your help? I was just tired of dragging my own feet. Figured I'd just clear the air, you know what I mean? What do you want to tell people watching, wanting to know, in your opinion, what will fix this game? What's going to rid it of the hacking problem finally, once and for all? If you stop playing it, the game will just die. So that's definitely not the answer. Stop spending money, and the company will either let it die or make the necessary changes to, you know, keep it relevant and keep it profitable. See, you guys got to understand from, you know, Activision's point of view, they're killing it right now. Record profits, you know, put yourself in their shoes. You're running a huge company, and your absolute main priority is increasing the value of the company through profits, providing dividends for your stockholders, who in essence are, you know, your main focus. And if they're seeing the numbers that they're currently seeing, what incentive do they have to do anything different? Record profits. That says they're doing everything correctly. Why spend money on an anti-cheat? I wouldn't. At least not until, you know, I see the line on the graph that represents the profits start to trend downward. Listen, man, the COD community is COD community's biggest issue. It's been proven there's an algorithm that puts people who have, you know, a lot of store purchases and high skills against people who aren't so highly skilled and don't have store purchases, trying to motivate them to buy something to gain that slight edge to compete. And the whitelist is proven. And if you ask me, the whitelist makes a lot of sense. You could have the best product in the world, but if you don't have any salespeople, and in this case, a content creator, nobody's going to want your game. Nobody's going to know what your game's about or what the value is and what it's capable of. So essentially, you don't have anything without these people. That's why it makes sense you would put out this lie about this almighty anti-cheat in an attempt to get your best salespeople back to promoting your game. And then, you know, once Vanguard drops and everybody finds out you're full of shit, they got 364 more days to whine and cry about it before they get duped into buying another garbage COD game on a yearly cycle. It's kind of like how Democrats keep voting for the same people and then complaining about how they... I do believe we're almost out of time. We do very much appreciate you taking the time out of your day to share your story with us. Is there any chance we can get you back on the show in the near future to explore some more of these insider insights of yours? We'll see. Maybe if this video gets a couple thousand views and it don't get ratioed by the idiots who don't appreciate or understand honesty. Well, you heard it here first, folks. If you want to learn more about what goes on behind the scenes and how some of your favorite streamers are getting away with lying to their communities, or just want to learn more about Hoppa's experiences with certain streaming platforms or certain cheat providers, make sure you let him know down in the comments. And if you appreciate the hard work here at HNN, please make sure you remember to like this video, subscribe, and then check the notification bell so you don't miss another insider look at the world you never knew existed. I am Hoppa, and this has been Hoppa Nightly News. Until next time, f*** off, COD community.